I have served Ndigbo for the last 13 and a half years. And it's there for everyone to see. A Google search, in fact, leave Google, ChatGPT, anything. You ask. And it won't tell you the personality. You know, the world is so advanced now.
It is.
The SCDC, like I said, I talked to you through some of our initiatives. So I think maybe that was a budget session that lasted, say, about 2 hours, 15 minutes. There were probably about 7 or 8 senators that came in, and maybe about 6 or 7 sat through for the whole 2 hours. We spent the first hour taking the Senate committee through all we had done in the last 12 months. You're starting a brand new organization. There have been challenges financially in terms of funding because the government is prioritizing some critical infrastructure projects and also debt service, paying off loans that they had inherited from the previous administration. So the question was, what do? Do you just sit back and wait? Or do we take the bull by the horn and just continue to work and do all the planning such that this year, when the resources come, we can take off? And that's what the team at SCDC, be it the executive management and the chair and the board, decided to do. All our efforts culminated in an event that I don't think the Southeast has seen before. The one that held between the days of 3rd to 6th. And it was chaired by the vice president, who came down and had and all the 5 governors were there. In that meeting, we spent 4 days. We didn't do any marketing. No pre-event marketing. We just put the link for people to come and share their thoughts for the long-term plan of the region. 5,000 people signed up. 4,200 or so showed up. Every day on average, we're getting 2,000 people come. Different sessions, different sectors, people present, and you allow the common man or woman contribute their own ideas. Allowing government to work for the people. We were there for 4 days, not doing any talking, but listening and hearing what the people want, documenting it. So that way, we say we have created a platform for everybody to come and share their thoughts. The day we posted about that event, everybody said, stakeholder, everybody, consultation. But that is your greatest tool in government, to give people the opportunity to say, this is what we want. And amongst all the stakeholders, the ones who are most critical to us are the governors and the state governments in the region. Because we're a federal government agency that is located here. So seeing all of them on that day and them all the governors giving their input on what they think we should do. Governor Abia said, you see geometric energy? I already have power there. We can increase the capacity and use that to feed power and provide power, 5,000, 10,000 megawatts to all the states in the region. Each of us cannot go and be doing our own individual 1,000 megawatt project. It's not, you need economies of scale. Governor Ebonyi said, Ebonyi can be the agriculture hub and solid minerals hub. We can have a new cement plant. We can have agriculture industry that feeds the whole region. So that way, every part of the region is having core competence. Governor Soludo said, keep it simple. 3 to 4 things. Give us rail. Give us gas. Give us a regional security architecture and infrastructure that all of us can contribute to and work on. And then help us with some policy coordination. Governor Hope said, I am the gas basin of the whole region. So let's work on gas pipelines. take the gas from Imo and let's bring it to all the different states. And then Governor Peter Amba, who was the host on that day, said, let's imagine a world of no borders amongst our states. Let's think together. Southeast should have one education policy, one healthcare policy, one this policy, and one infrastructure, and the regional connectivity around transportation corridors, logistic corridors, rail. Let's think about all of these things together. That was the critical feedback. And that informed also how we were thinking of our plans and our budgetary provisions. Now, we held this meeting at the Senate, and it was a fantastic meeting. They listened to all these initiatives. We spent time discussing the programs and then taking them through our own proposal, which, of course, they will review and then approve, give us the necessary approvals. All of them had amazing things to say. My big brother and my friend, Senator Tony Woye, who's very close, we're close, we talk. He happened not to have come, I think, early for the meeting and popped in for about 5 minutes and then saw some parts of the document and made a comment and then left 5 minutes later. And it just so happens that, this season, some of the media people take one or two things and put a spin and what have you. But I don't think those things are quite necessary. I think our people need to understand that there is a strong commitment from the team to get things done. And then, social media, people like to play some games. I think the young man who handles that page just was clever by half and selected one or two areas. The budget provision has capitalization. That is us putting money into Southeast Investment Company so that it can start doing some good work. It was not mentioned. The budget also has funds for Southeast Venture Capital. Very soon, the portals will be launched. Young people with tech ideas can get funding, $10,000, $20,000 for their innovation. It was not mentioned. The budget has Southeast Industrialization Program, which is us building infrastructure and industrial parks in collaboration with the states. It was not mentioned. To spur industrialization. The budget has Southeast Agro Development Program, investing in land development across key communities and farming settlements, old ones and new ones. We've already mapped 4 states as I speak. We've already designed sporting infrastructure as I speak at our universities. We've designed innovation hubs at our universities. All of these different initiatives captured in that program. The budget also had Michael Okpara Leadership Program for Young Leaders, also not addressed. All of these different initiatives. So the person, I think, wanted to be clever by half, pick one or two things, paint a picture, push a narrative. But you know what I keep telling people? If you cannot take criticism, if you cannot take admonishment, if you cannot take daggers thrown at you, then stay in the private sector. If you want to be in government, be ready to have thick skin.
Yes.
Because oftentimes, the decisions taken by leaders in government that have redefined society, which people love today, everybody vilified them at the beginning. And to that point, obviously, as much as we pray, we put forward a budget provision, there's always the prayer that, it will be fully implemented. But where it is not, that's why we have the Southeast Investment Company, to be very creative how we go into opportunities.
I hope you succeed. And then I agree with you about the black man. Most times we attack what we don't understand instead of sitting back to observe and then give it time. What we do is attack. But are you saying that what Senator Tony Woye said was out of place? The remark of infrastructure and everything, focus on infrastructure. Do you think it was out of place? The remark of Tony Woye?
I would not say that per se. The only place, for example, if I got the opportunity to obviously spend some time with him, I think if he had heard the whole program, he would have a different opinion. For example, in his remarks, he said that every community needs to feel SCDC's impact. SCDC is not a community development commission. SCDC is a regional development commission. Right? So, if we're in a situation where the state governments in the southeast are no longer building primary healthcare centers, building community centers, building boreholes, renovating classrooms at primary school level, they are handing that over to their local governments. How do we come into that space, create conflict, confusion, and disorganization?
Yes,
Exactly. So, our own view is that it's a perfect advice to focus on infrastructure, but our focus has always been region-wide infrastructure that touches on the entire region.
What to benefit the region?
Everybody. So the only way Mama Chichi, Nona Okpomili in Iftedunu will ultimately feel our impact is if perhaps there's part of Iftedunu that has land for agriculture. Right?
Okay.
If there's part of Iftedunu that benefits from the sports grassroots infrastructure program. If there's part of Iftedunu that is carved by the state government and it says they want to do a special economic zone industrial park here and we're able to put our roads there, these are the ways that they will get it.
You won't go to people's house and then give them the benefits. You are not in that grassroots.
No.
There's a local government, there's state
government.
Your own is regional.
My name is also Ndigbo. So many people are asking me, how do you make so much money at this your young age? And I ask them, why do you carry so much money and put in the bank when you can carry the same money and put in the land? I am who I am today because I do land banking with Pine Leaf Estate and Properties Limited.